I will start with giving you a very brief background of what I've done so far. I'll come to my work life thereafter. I'm born in a very humble family, and my first lesson on entrepreneurship came from my own family, and I'll share that a little later. My work life has been 40 years, and in those 40 years, I have had various encounters with entrepreneurs. And these entrepreneurs are people who have worked directly with me as their advisor. These are entrepreneurs who are within my family, within my friends network. These are people who I have helped and mentored in the startup networks. So the first lesson I've learned, which may not be exciting for all of you all, that education is not a must for you to be an entrepreneur. Education is a must-have for you to get a springboard to then practice entrepreneurship if you were to go towards that direction. Entrepreneurship is not directly proportionate to the amount of years you have spent studying. That's the first lesson I've learned. The second lesson, which you would see is, okay, there are two things that gives you choice. One is a choice that you yourself made that requires grit, that requires determination, that requires resilience, that requires a lot of courage. But then there is a choice you make out of distress. And I'll give you my own example. I think I was 17 years, and I was a reasonably good student in what I was doing at the time. I was in university. I was doing, commerce education. I didn't even know that I have to become a chartered accountant. But my father had a massive heart attack. And me and my elder brother, two of us, were then asked to step in to work for something that will give some more regular source of income to our family. So me and my brother, and later my mother started, she joined us in that company. I think we worked to set up a company when I was 17, which is even today in 35, 40 years is existing and has a very strong portfolio of investment advisory, offices with, in multiple cities. I learned a lot from those lessons. The reason why it's important for you to know is that entrepreneurship, the first myth that we must break, most of you who are students here and are wanting to go towards that, you should not wait for a decision to be taken, because the decision can, many, many times be imposed on you. It can happen to you. So I think it's important for you to know that the drive that takes you towards entrepreneurship comes from various sources, one of which is distress. There are a few other examples. If you look at some of the biggest entrepreneurs in this country or anywhere in the world, you will not see education is the only determinant as to why they become entrepreneurs. You will not see people who have become entrepreneurs by choice. Somewhere, the generation shift has made them an entrepreneur. Somewhere they have had a massive disaster in a previous business, which has made them an entrepreneur, set up something absolutely new. So I think that's that's the fundamental lesson that I've learned. So what does entrepreneurship mean? My takeaway has been over the years that none of the entrepreneurs that I've had encounters with have ever told me that entrepreneurship is an event that happens at a point in time. It is not something that you do at a certain stage of your life or certain age of your life. You will make those choices at any point. I will turn 60 in the next couple of years, and I can tell you, I can still be an entrepreneur. I'm already thinking of so many other things that I'll be doing thereafter. So it's neither a stage or not an age at which you will make a choice. You have to see entrepreneurship as a way of working. It is not an event that happens in your life. It's not something that you have to choose at a point immediately after you've passed your university, immediately after you've done something in your life. It is an event that has to happen any point in time if you have practiced certain behaviors of entrepreneurship. Those behaviors are very, very important. And I'll not take too much of time telling you about behaviors. What I'll tell you is what happens once you become an entrepreneur and start practicing something which is something that you desire. The first important matter that you have to look at is what should you focus on? Should you be focused on making profits? Should you be focused on looking at your people? Should you be focused on looking at your suppliers? Should you be looking at raising capital or resources? What should you be focusing on? The most important piece, again, over the years I've learned, is you have to look at your balance, a balance between what your customers are expecting of you and what your people are expecting of you. These are the two cornerstones of any successful entrepreneur. There is no entrepreneur. This is, again, a big myth that you will have people who would say it's a solo show. It's never a solo show. So you need to get your team together. You need to work along with your team. It is a team game. That's the first lesson that you should take if you were to practice entrepreneurship. The other is to look at a tremendous amount of passion towards customers. I mean, there are people who will not be focused on customers. They'll have an imbalance towards their people. They will have an imbalance towards their customers. They will have more focus around capital raising, fundraising, and all of that. Absolutely. And the other myth, which is again very important for you to notice, again, a big myth, that you need an idea to go for entrepreneurship. You don't need an idea to go for ideas will come if you practice entrepreneurship behaviors. So I think these are few of the lessons that I've seen from various entrepreneurs that I've worked closely with. You've seen people who've created scale, but scale is not something that is defined by the economy. Scale is something that you define for yourself. Scale is what you wish to achieve from your entrepreneurial journey. There are examples probably within this room, many of you or many of your members of your family would have started something entrepreneurial. They would have probably thought about something, take it to a certain scale, and then that's good enough for them. It's not competitive advantage for you to build a scale which is taking you outside of India, which is taking you outside of your geography. If this is what you have chosen, it's a choice that you make. There are many companies who are very, very successful, but are still very, very small. And they will remain small. And they are happy to remain small from a social lens. When we look at them, we will say, well, look, this is too small a company, will not want to focus, will not want to invest, will not want to do something. But if you look at companies which are very large, in top 10 names that you will today look at, the most successful entrepreneurs in this country, you will not have probably one of them sitting in who is running a small company. And in our profession, in my profession, I can tell you every year we will have lists of companies which are turning slowly and gradually from small to medium to big, depending on choices that they end up making. It's just that aspiration that drives them towards scaling up. So scale is, again, a bit of a myth to say I have to follow a certain scale. The third piece that I wanted to share was, many times we want to go towards entrepreneurial journey, but we are afraid of failure. Failure is a natural part of achieving a certain level of success. So failure should not deter you if you have started practicing set of behaviors which are entrepreneurial in conduct. it is very important for you to then know that what are those behaviors that, or what are things that I should not do. Number of you who would probably start thinking about going into this direction of wanting to do an entrepreneurial journey would probably start looking at, should I go to the angel investors? At what stage I should go to the angel investors? Should I go from angel investors to private equity? At what stage I should go? It's all about majority of the people who will follow this dream that they have looked, they will follow resources at first instance. And I want to emphasize that resources happen, they come your way if you've started practicing certain behaviors. So if you have a good, great story that you want to pursue it with absolute passion, pursue it with clear focus, have determination to go that path. Demonstrate that leadership behavior that many of us will probably not have. And leadership behavior is to say you should have belief in what you think you can achieve, not what others think about you in terms of what you can achieve. I think it's important for you to see how your belief is getting more followers as you slowly and gradually step up the ladder of success. Don't follow success, but follow your dream, follow your belief, follow that with clear purpose. Failure will happen. It is part of the process, as I said. But do not let go of. If I have to give you a snapshot, please do not let go of your dreams today because you are wanting to raise more resources, or you are worried about raising resources, or you believe what is the right timing to enter your entrepreneurial journey. If you have made your choices, if you have an idea that you think you wish to pursue it. I can tell you there are many of entrepreneurs today who would have done exactly the same, and they have been very, very successful. They've not waited for their level of readiness. They've not waited for getting all the resources pulled in. They have just started the pursuit. There are many who are successful, but there are many, many more who have not been successful. You enter or exit only when you have a clarity that this purpose is not serving the problem that you originally identified. There is no term written for any entrepreneurial journey. So you will not have a term to say, well, look, I started now and this is sustainable for forever. Not all ideas are sustainable forever. All of you, all technology students will know that whatever happened in technology 5 years ago has all evolved and has all changed. There are new business models that are emerging. We in our profession today are looking at AI in virtually everything that we do. Now that's changing in the future because we will now move on to the agentic AI. And there are a number of areas on agentic AI that we are working on today just to sort of see how would that change the color of service provision in this country. So the evolution is a continuous process in every part of the business that you look at, whether it is technology, whether it is manufacturing. So there are a lot of changes that the country has seen, a lot of opportunities that it opens up for all of you all. And it's important for you to keep your eyes, ears, and all the focus on what you think you wish to do. Get into that space if you want to be an entrepreneur. I think one last comment I wanted to make was that if you're an employee, if you're employed by someone, entrepreneurship is something that you can practice in the employment as well. Many a times there are projects that are handed over to you which you align very well with and you are very successfully delivering onto it. Thank you very much.